What's up, everybody? Rob here. Thank you so much for tuning in. So Bitcoin versus Ethereum. I've seen a lot of videos out there and none of them really just simplify it. So this is my take on Bitcoin versus Ethereum. I hope it helps you because these are the two top cryptos. And when I say these are the top two cryptos, I mean in a space valued at 1 trillion, Bitcoin is roughly 700 billion of it, so roughly 70% of the thousands of cryptos out there. Bitcoin is 70% of the entire cryptocurrency market cap. Ethereum is roughly 150, 160 billion, which makes up roughly 15% of the cryptocurrency market cap as a whole. So between Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are talking about roughly 80 to 90% of the entire cryptocurrency world. Yeah, it really makes you think about that last video I just posted on why I'm only in Bitcoin right now and not altcoins, is because if there was going to be a reserve currency in the digital world, none of these altcoins have the networks capable of doing that. Only Bitcoin could do that. Ethereum is very interesting, however, because Ethereum is very different from Bitcoin in that it is programmable money. It's basically money with code attached to it, which is brilliant. It's brilliant. Now, will it be adopted? That's the question. I want to simplify this and talk about it a little bit more in detail, but still be simplified at the same time. If you do find this content valuable, please feel free to click that subscribe button down below. Not only feel free, but it is free to click that subscribe button. I'm a small YouTube channel and I spend a lot of time making these videos. I'm actually in my warehouse at 1 o'clock in the morning right now because I get inspired at weird times to make videos. But if you could, I would really appreciate you being subscribed to the channel, and I hope it does provide you genuine value. And if you do find this content valuable, please smash that like button. You know, really does help with the YouTube algorithm if you do that. I know I say it every video. I know it's annoying, but seriously, I spend a lot of time on these and it really does help, and I want to see it reach out to more people. Would really appreciate it if you would do that. So Bitcoin is considered just money. Bitcoin is modeled to be stored money. It's actually modeled after gold. Its mechanism is not anything like Ethereum, whereas Bitcoin is ultimately finite at 21 million coins. At 21 million, Bitcoin ends, period. There will not be a secondary. There will not be any more Bitcoin issued. It ends at 21 million. Ethereum, on the other hand, has no set amount of Ether that can be mined. Now, that to me was the first reason why I wasn't involved in Ethereum and why I still am not involved in Ethereum. Bitcoin, I know, will end. They won't be able to find anymore. They won't be able to mine anymore. At 21 million, it's over. That's what's very unique. This asset is not only finite, but it is also hardening over time. When I say it is hardening over time, when they do a fork, it basically means that it takes twice the computational power to make a Bitcoin as it used to. So it is hardening, as in it is getting harder and harder to mine Bitcoin as it approaches that 21 million figure. And I believe we're somewhere around 18.5 to 19 million Bitcoins mined so far. So only about 2 million left. Ether, on the other hand, can be continuously mined. So the goal of Ether is that it gets adopted at such a rapid pace that it can increase in value based on how many people are using it, despite the fact that it can be continuously mined. It's funny because Bitcoin is modeled after gold, but gold is continuously mined. It might be harder and harder to mine it as the gold gets found, but it's continuously being mined and there is still a lot of it in the crust. Ether is kind of modeled in that same kind of way. To simplify it, the goal of Ether is that it gets adopted at such a rapid pace that the price goes up while it's continuously being mined to satisfy that demand. Now, what's very interesting about Ether is that it is programmable money. So by issuing smart contracts, let's talk about a real estate deal. Real estate deals can get super annoying when you're talking about, the realtor, the escrow, making sure the money's there, it goes through to the seller, and then you have to go through there's a huge process with real estate. A smart contract could be deployed with Ethereum, whereas the programmed smart contract and it is deployed. Buyer says this is the price, seller says I have this much Ethereum, here it is, here's the smart contract, boom, it's all there and is all documented in the code. Smart contracts are very elegant in that way, and Bitcoin doesn't offer that. Bitcoin would be the stored value there that you could use to buy the home, but it doesn't employ a smart contract, if that makes sense. That is the ultimate two differences between the two of them. Programmable, able to put smart contracts in it, and can continuously be mined. I'm scared about that continuously being able to be mined aspect of Ethereum. I believe it is because Vitalik thinks it will become so large and so well adopted that it will need to continuously be mined. My argument against it is that if it's continuously mined and it can be very much so divided, just like Bitcoin, you can buy a fractional amount of Bitcoin. You can buy $5 of Bitcoin. You can buy $5 of Ethereum. It scares me that it can be infinitely mined and there isn't a set amount of them like there is Bitcoin. And that is why I am all in Bitcoin personally. Now, am I very interested in the way Ethereum operates? Yeah, I think it's extremely interesting that you can employ smart contracts. It takes out the need for, say, a PayPal to be the escrow. It takes out the need for, escrow on a house. It's a very brilliant concept, and it's there and it's viable with the smart contract deployment of Ethereum. And as that continues to get adopted, the adoption rate could outpace the mining rate, just like with gold. And it just is modeled in a way where it is considered valuable because of that. Bitcoin, on the other hand, if this really does become the reserve currency of the digital world, which at 70% of the entire crypto market cap, it's looking pretty likely. And when I say pretty likely, it doesn't have any competition. The network that it has established of miners out there to help with these transactions and process the transactions and to mine the Bitcoin, it's so vast and so diverse that I don't see Bitcoin having any competition. The reason why Ethereum is so unique is that it's programmable, that you can employ those smart contracts, and that I don't really buy the argument that you need to continuously mine it. And that's why I'm skeptical myself, and I'm still learning more about this every single day. So I'm on the journey with you and just sharing my knowledge of what I know right now and trying to simplify it. But that does get me worried, and that's why I'm all in Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum just went from about, 800 or 900, and then it it was down there, it jumped up to 1,200, 1,300, pulled back to 1,000, and now I believe it's back up at about 1,300 rather. Did I say 13,000? 1,300. So it's been fluctuating between, 1,000, 1,300, 1,000, 1,300, and it seems to be on an upward trend, and the percentage of it on an ROI basis looks pretty strong here. So my eyeballs are on it, and I am looking right now, just like I was looking with Bitcoin prior to PayPal getting in and Cash App and all of that. I'm looking for that same kind of adoption of Ether. I'm looking for some more companies and more, institutional buyers to be looking at this. Or maybe, if one of these companies decides to figure out how to use these smart contracts and actually uses it in a very viable way where it is actually adopted and it's not just a white paper out there. There's tons of white papers on how they're going to use these smart contracts, but nobody's really doing it yet, So that's why I'm skeptical on Ether. But if there was one other crypto out there that I would consider putting in my personal portfolio, that's what I'm talking about here. I'm not giving financial advice. This is just financial education based on my opinion and what I am doing on my money. So I have to say that disclaimer. But Ether and Bitcoin are literally 80 to 90% of the entire crypto world. So all the 1,000+ coins that are, they're making up a sliver. They're making up 10% or a little bit more than 10% of the entire crypto world. it really makes you wrap your mind around how small these altcoins are and how wrong that argument is that somebody can just poof a new Bitcoin overnight. You know, if that was going to happen, there isn't the network to support that. It's Bitcoin not only is first to hit the market, but the fact because it was first to hit the market, it created this huge network of miners. I said this in my last video on why I'm all in Bitcoin. And when I say I'm all in Bitcoin in cryptocurrency, I'm all in Bitcoin. I don't have any other coins, period. I know people are telling me about this Dogecoin. You know, Elon Musk is joking around. He's not being serious, in my opinion. The XRP and all of that stuff. I'm only in Bitcoin. I don't want to be in the altcoins. I think that is pure gambling. I am already, in my mind, taking an insurance play that is a gamble on Bitcoin in the first place that has grown way larger than I was expecting it to be in my position of my decentralized portfolio. I'm happy about it, but it's getting to a point where it is still a gamble, but I'm not willing to be that much of a gambler. It's like putting altcoins is like going on green on the roulette table, on the zeros on the roulette table versus being black or red on a roulette table. That's how I feel about Bitcoin. It's like, yeah, it's a gamble, but it is not nearly the same gamble as being in altcoins. It's like penny stocks pretty much. Ether, on the other hand, is not on that level of being like a penny stock altcoin. It is actually about 15% of the cryptocurrency market cap as I'm making this video. So that's very interesting to me. It's very interesting that you can program this money to employ smart contracts. Vitalik is truly a genius. The other thing is Bitcoin had a 6-year head start. It was started in 2009 and Ethereum was started in 2015. All in all, I'm looking closer at Ethereum, and my bull sign on an Ethereum to buy more of it, or any of it. I can't say more of it. I don't have any Ethereum right now, but to buy Ethereum for myself, I want to see some more adoption. I want to see it being talked about more. I want to see, you know, these billionaires like Michael Saylor coming out here and saying, hey, I'm buying Ethereum. I believe in it. We're going to do this with the company with Ethereum. I want to see that. I want to see some more adoption, more talk about it. As of right now, I am not convinced. It is still a gamble in my mind. And if there was a 1% likelihood that Bitcoin was going to be adopted as the digital reserve currency, reserve asset, now it's gone from 1% to 5% to 10% to, in my mind, 20, 30% likely that it's going to be adopted, and maybe even more. And as it continues to snowball and get larger, I think it's going to be statistically more and more probable that this is actually going to continue to be adopted. And you might see some huge player. You already saw PayPal. Keep in mind, PayPal is not a small player. It's not a small player at all. We're talking about a company in the hundreds of billions. Coinbase, I mean, not Coinbase, Coinbase as well, but Cash App, very, very expensive company as well. A lot of money behind that. They're huge in Bitcoin. So to see that happening with Bitcoin, we are seeing that adoption. We're seeing institutional money coming in there. We're seeing the billionaires buying Bitcoin. That's happening. I don't quite see that yet with Ether. I see that in a way. I see guys like Raoul Paul and a few other guys getting into Ethereum and talking about it, but I just don't see that same kind of adoption on a front of large companies, institutions, the hedge funds. I don't see any of that happening with Ether yet. I hope that helped simplify those two for you. I don't want to get into the charting and the technicals and all of that, but I just wanted to break apart because it's so easy to look at the cryptocurrency world from the I don't want to keep talking about Peter Schiff, but it's to look at it from the Peter Schiff, you know, blinders method where you just go, they're all the same. They're just digital things out there, and they're not all the same. They're not all the same. There's Bitcoin and Ether, and that makes up 80 to 90% of all cryptocurrency. So the others, when you realize that, the others look pretty minuscule in comparison. That being said, I'm not convinced on Ether yet. I have listened to Vitalik speak, and the guy is a true genius. There's no doubt about it. The guy's a true genius, and what he's doing with that, with Ethereum, is brilliant. Being able to attach code to your currency and have programmable money, it seems like something the future is going to need no matter what. So we will see how much more it gets adopted. Is it interesting as a speculation play? I will be honest and say that I'm tempted. I'll be honest and say I'm tempted to move maybe 10, 20% of my Bitcoin position into Ethereum. And that is very hard for me to do because I really only believe in Bitcoin. I really only believe in Bitcoin. I love the fact that it's finite. I love the fact that it's hardening over time. I love that when all the Bitcoins are mined, that the network stays in place with all these miners because they're rewarded for processing these transactions. The whole system of Bitcoin is so elegant to me as a storage of wealth in the digital world. It's genius. It's so elegant, and it's like hope. You know, if there was one thing that could actually give the power to the people in a sense, it's Bitcoin. And I am not convinced that Ether is going to be bigger than Bitcoin. I am not convinced that it is a better storage of wealth than Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin still is king in that arena, but I do think it's extremely interesting what it is capable of doing with Ether. Hope that helps simplify those two for you. All in all, I am not very much so opposed to Ether. I am skeptical of the fact that it can continuously be mined. That scares me that it's not ultimately finite, because it is a divisible, one Ether is divisible. So I don't understand the continuous mining of it. That's just me though. If this video helped you at all, please, I said it in the beginning of the video, I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry guys. Please smash that like button. It really does help the video reach out to more people and helps this channel. I'm only at like 1,800 subscribers, so I'm not one of the biggest YouTubers out there, but I appreciate every single one of my subscribers, and it makes it all worthwhile to make these videos. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, really would appreciate you clicking that subscribe button down below. I also have the Instagram, so if you want to go to my Instagram, I'm much more accessible there by DM. It's actually me responding. Again, I'm a kind of small YouTuber, small Instagram guy. So at Rob Soltan on Instagram if you want to follow me there. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope it helped you, and I will see you at the next one.